Somebody, let me know if you can hear me, please. Thank you. All right, we'll be starting in a couple of minutes. I'm early. I am early. Let me get a couple of things going here. All right, let me know. Can you all hear me normally? Can you hear me just fine or what? Chantal, does it sound just fine? Yes, it does, because it's weird. I'm not hearing financial juice very well. It's very strange. I should be hearing it normally, I would think. Okay, I think it's me. Yeah, it was me. It's a different setup. Okay, we got about another minute, and then we'll get started. Chantal, you streaming this, right? Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the 10-minute trade room and the 20-year bond auction. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director at 10-minute trades. Please remember that all trades are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so please trade carefully. Trade wisely if you would. And this is a trade that we have not had a DMM, a daily market report for. I'm hoping in the new year that this will be a report that we get a report for. I would expect one. The way that I would look at this is I would trade it similarly to the 30-year auction. It is a relatively new report. When I say relatively new report, it's less than a year old. Let's double check that. It might be coming up on a year at this point. Let me see if I can show you what I mean. So here's what's kind of crazy to me. They're shutting down, they're doing a lockdown in the United Kingdom, but they're not stopping the trains. So what's the point? I don't get it. It's not a lockdown. It just doesn't make sense. Does not make sense to me. So if you want to learn about a report, One thing you can do is go over to investing.com, go to their economic calendar, go to news, economic calendar. You could do the whole week this week, and then you can go to Monday, which is today, and you see that there is a 20-year bond auction at 1 o'clock. If you click on that, it'll give you a little bit of extra information, okay? It'll explain the auction. It will explain the most recent previous release when it came out. It was in November. And it will, if you click on the show more, it shows you a very long amount of auctions. So you could see that this auction actually started in May of 2020. There are no previous 20-year bond auctions. It's a new bond, essentially. So it's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's traded 8 times. Okay. The last time it traded, we were not in the room, and I think it was because it did not show up on the calendar correctly that month or that week, so we never knew when it was taking place. And that sometimes, look, sometimes the calendars will make errors, and we're just humans. There's not anything you can do when there's a mistake made by the calendar people. It's not our fault. So I ran a test of November, and I've shown it previously in the trade room. And I was testing ultra bonds on the right, and we were trading ZB, the 30-year bond, on the left. And both of them moved very nicely in the trade in November. November moved nicely. Looks like it would have been a solid trade in November. Let's see if we have October. We've got October. October, we traded live. I had 1 month where I didn't cancel it, and it cost me a winning trade. It cost me a stop. We need 13:01:30. We have a special entry time on this, on bond auctions. $13:01:30 is the time that our orders go on the chart for this particular setup. And normally we use a 40-second cancel. What I have been finding on most of the bond auctions is that they've been late. They've been a little bit late. And if you wait until you get filled, you sometimes will have a good trade rather than canceling the trade. There was one that did cost me a stop out because I waited. And sometimes that's the risk of waiting rather than canceling. I mean, we have fairly strict cancellation rules, but in all honesty, the pandemic has made them a little bit more inconsistent because the news has been released a little bit more inconsistently during the pandemic. We've been seeing it. We've been seeing Empire State Manufacturing and Richmond, and some of the Fed data reports have definitely been later than they used to be, and later might just mean 5 or 10 seconds. So you could see that October really just did not have much of a reaction at all. Was it real late or was it just a non-reaction? It was a long, so unfortunately we're on the wrong side. And did not work in October. However, if you had canceled 13:01:30 at 40 seconds after that, that would have been, so if your entry is 13:01:30, right? Our normal cancel is right here when the second hand gets to 10 seconds after 02. Normally it's a 40-second cancel. This particular trade, if you canceled, you would have prevented a stop. Okay? It just worked that way. That happens sometimes. More often than not, we will get filled. Now, with all the stimulus talk and all the things going on, yes, ZB is the 30-year bond symbol. ZB0321. ZB0321. Kirsten, that's you, right? Let's look at 9 September. Now, keep in mind, this is holiday trading week. There's no DMMs all for this week and next week. So don't think that like your subscription's all goofed up. Anybody new that signs up, the week before Christmas to anything, we don't start subscriptions until the first of the year, just because this is slow times. It's a good time to learn, good time to practice. A lot of companies shut down this time of year. Yes, it's a 20-year bond auction, but we have discovered that almost all the bond auctions that we trade um, have an impact on the 30-year. That's why we're trading it. That's why we're trading it. Kirsten, send me an email, help@10minutetrades.com, and let me know what you signed up for, and I'll help you. Okay? I'll help you. Help at the number 10minutetrades.com. Let me help you. Okay? So I can get you. If you signed up for the trade room, let me get you in the trade room. It might be going to your spam folder or, things go wrong. So let me make sure that I would not, I never even traded the 20-year bond. If you're going to look for something, what you do is go to tools, go to instrument lists. Let's cancel that. I changed it. Let's go to tools and go to instrument. And you could scroll down, see if you can see if the 20-year bond is in there. I don't recall ever seeing a 20-year bond. Type in 20. I'm just curious. 30. See, that's not giving us futures. So let's put it on future. No, it's not that's not what you want to find. So I would email them, but I would trade ZB. I would trade ZB. Our testing on ZB has been fine. If anybody knows the, I've never seen, I've seen the 10, I've seen the 15. You have ZN, ZB, ZF. I've never seen a symbol for the 20-year. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I have not looked for it because I trade ZB on it. This was September. Let's take a look again. 1301.30. Our orders go on the chart. And just looking to see if there was a move. There's a new report. We don't totally know what to expect out of this report. It's new. So we're getting our feet wet with it. There's been a few that have moved nicely, and then there's been a bunch that have canceled. It might be that this report just doesn't move well enough. It's possible. I'm going to use. I'm just watching. So you could see in September it didn't do much. Let's look in July. I have a July trade on it. Let me just see what this is. An incorrectly labeled video. I just want to see what it is. Okay, it was a September test. So let's see. July I've got July 22nd. This is a test of July's 20-year. This is when I started first noticing that the 20-year bond was moving. So this was July. And you got to watch the clock up here, okay? You got to watch the clock up here, 1301. And it got to 1302 and a couple of seconds before it filled, okay? And I'm using a 3-tick bracket. In other words, I don't think I want to get filled if it just moves 2 ticks and just dies, okay? I'd rather it move, 5 ticks. Give me a chance to make a little bit of a profit, or just don't fill me. I'd rather not get filled. Okay. Now, again, this is a holiday week. The markets usually are not that impactful. A lot of people are not paying attention to the markets. It's a holiday, even though the world's so bizarre with the pandemic, it's still a holiday. A lot of people are still working, and a lot of people are going to take time off. And it will affect the markets. The markets will be less impactful. So if I were going to use a report to help guide me in this report, you could look at the 30-year DMM, right? If you look at the 30-year DMM, a recent 30-year DMM report. So the last 20-year was around the 18th of November. The 30-year is going to be close to that. Let me find one. We haven't changed the 30-year DMM in a very long time. So let's say you have absolutely no idea. You can use the calendar to help you try and find it. But figure, so let's use a little common sense, right? If the last 20-year was November 18th, if we look at the weekly schedule that encompasses November 18th, We can look and see if the 30-year is on there. So that's the schedule for the 18th. And it's not on there, so I'll look the week before and I'll look the week after. I could also look it up in the calendar, but I happen to have all the weekly schedules right in front of me. I could check my journal also. So the 30-year turns out in November, the 30-year auction was the 12th of November. So I go back, I save all the DMMs for just this exact situation, and I pull up the DMM that includes the last 30-year trade. And I'm going to use the 30-year as my template, okay? Because that's what I've been using, and I think it's safe, okay? I think this particular auction looks like it moves in a similar manner, and I'm perfectly happy with the 30-year setup for it, okay? So I like the extra bracket of 1 tick. It's a 3-tick bracket, okay? That's where I'm getting my setup. It's my setup. Remember that. This is the way that I'm going to trade it. And all that matters is how many contracts. Obviously, I'm not going to trade 20 contracts Christmas week. I'm just going to trade 1 target for 2 ticks, 1 target for 6 ticks, right? I'm going to be conservative. We want to see how the markets are behaving this week. So 2 ticks, profit target 1 is 2 ticks, target 2 is 6 ticks, the stop is 3 ticks. Okay. And then we have an activation time or an entry time. Entry time, 13 Eastern time is what we're using. 13:01. 30. 13:01:30. It's a breakout trade. That's the style of trade we're trading. I'm trading the ZB. Let me apply it. You know what? You can save a template of your trades. Did you know that? So I could save this and I can call it 20, 30 year auction. That way you don't have to reload it back in. And I just want to make sure that it's connected to the right account. For some reason, it didn't let me choose my account, so let me see what's going on real quick. I had a login error with Ninja. It wasn't us, it was Ninja. Okay, so that seems to have fixed it. So I'll go back and double check my trade setup. Click on strategy. Okay, the strategy's still there. Remember, a bracket of 3, 1 target for 2 ticks, 1 target for 6 ticks, a stop loss of 3 ticks, an entry time of 13:01:30 Eastern time, 13:01:30. It's a breakout trade. We're putting a bracket above and below the price. I choose the account. That's weird. It's not letting me choose my account. So let's try one more thing. Turn off my global simulation mode. That might be the problem. Let's enter it one more time. bracket of 3, one target for 2 ticks, one target for 6 ticks, stop of 3 ticks, entry time of 13:01:30. And there we go. There's my accounts. They're back. I like to label the trade, trading ZB, 20-year auction. Okay. I don't have to adjust anything else. It's a breakout trade. 13:01:30 is my entry time or activation time. Strategy internal, it's already a default. One target for 2 ticks, one target for 6 ticks. We have a cancellation of 40 seconds. Okay. Apply it and okay it. You can see it labels your strategy. Put the charts on live so that you see your orders. If you trade and you don't put your charts on live and you're trading live, but you're in sim, you will not see your orders. Okay. Let's check our time. We'll check our sync. How do we check our sync? We go to a website called time.is. Time.is. Click on it. And it tries to put your computer in sync, and if it succeeds, it says exactly what it says. Your time is exact. That means I'm in sync. Okay. If you can't get yourself in sync, we do have other tools that we can send to our members who need help getting in sync. There's a program called Dimension 4 that we use that helps us to sync our computer. The reason we don't use regular old Windows sync is it's just very buggy. That's the real reason we don't use regular old Windows sync. Now, we do use Financial Juice Pro, financialjuice.com. It's a tool that we use. It's a squawk box in addition to investing.com. Investing.com is free. Financial Juice Pro, there is a small charge for it. I'm risking roughly 3 ticks per contract. It's $31.25 per tick, 20-year bonds are relatively expensive to trade. And then I'll go over our schedule after the trade. I'll answer any questions if anybody wants to ask me any questions. It's definitely a quiet week this week and next week. And then everything explodes rather quickly. The first week of January is the first week of every month is always busy. Always a very busy month. You have the jobs report the first week of the month. You've got ISM manufacturing. You've got the new name changed. ISM is not called non-manufacturing anymore. It's called ISM services now. They changed the name. And we also have a webinar today about the squeeze play, which is a feature in our updated software. And it's our last software webinar before the holiday. And I'm sure you've gotten, you should have an email in your inbox, and you'll get another one later. It's a 4 o'clock Eastern Time webinar. Going to talk about why I like the software and show some of the new features. And we wanted to give everyone an opportunity. It's the last chance to get our software with a lifetime license. We're not going to continue the lifetime license next year. I have this crazy app on my phone. It tells me like everything bad that's going on around me. Like a man is brandishing a gun 2 blocks away, or a house has been invaded by 3 people with knives 6 blocks away. Building on fire 5 blocks away. It's the craziest app. And sometimes there's like video from people that go over to look. It's wild. The technology that we have is like, it's mind boggling. It's absolutely mind boggling. You know, just by fluke, I did a test. I was testing. We have another new feature in our software called unattended mode. And I was testing it this morning on the Gold Open. And wow, the Gold Open was great this morning. Gold opens at 8:20. GC, the gold futures. There used to be a gold pit. I don't think there's a gold pit anymore. Well, nobody's. Not many people are around in the pits anyway. The auction is at theoretically 101. The reaction doesn't take place until usually after 1301.30. I can't answer what the value of the 20-year bond is, okay, because I've never traded it. I have never even looked at it. I've never even seen a future for it, but the 30-year is 31 and a quarter per tick. That much I can tell you. So 1301.30, our orders will show up. We have a 40-second cancel. Yes, Chantal, you can. You know, the real question is, it's the holiday week. Stick to the cancel strictly, or knowing what we know about the cancels and letting them ride a little bit. My gut feeling is we're going to get filled. That's my gut feeling, that we're going to get filled before 40 seconds. That's what I think. $13.01.30, our orders will show up on the chart in about 5 seconds. And then in theory, we're supposed to cancel this trade at 13:02:10. Okay, 13:02:10, and I'll probably stick with the cancel if I get the opportunity. Why? Because we're not as familiar with this trade as some of our other trades. It's the holiday. I mean, I'd like to sort of let it go until I know the news is out. That's my gut reaction on these bond trades. Wait until the news comes out. So now you're supposed to cancel this trade. Okay. You're supposed to cancel the trade. No response. Okay. It filled me. It filled me. I may regret this. I may regret it. I hit the combine button. Okay. I took 125 quick bucks, folks. Didn't really, wasn't thrilled with the move. Wasn't exactly thrilled with the move. I don't mind making $125. I was trading 2 contracts. I grabbed a total of 4 ticks. Okay. It's okay. I think we can trade Christmas week. That's what I think. What do you think? I think we can trade Christmas week if we trade really smart and if we target our trades. That's my goal. And let's talk about that for a second since you're here. Who made money with me? Anybody trade with me and make a couple of dollars? Anybody? I'm going to take a picture of my profit. I love making money. I don't mind making $125 ever. I never mind making 125 bucks. If I could make $125 every time I decide to trade, that would be awesome. I'd be perfectly happy. So look, even if you didn't trade this today, right? You learned something. You learned that you can trust me. I hope. You can trust me in the sense that I've tested the 20-year bond trade now for more than 6 months. I've tested it for more than 6 months. I've seen it behave in a manner that makes it tradable to make some money. It's Christmas week. Yeah, I'm always ultra conservative. That's me because I don't want you to be careless and do things that are going to cost you money. Okay. So I traded conservatively. Normally, if this was the 30-year bond, I think we should go minimum 3 contracts, possibly 4 and 5 now. Okay. TD, did you trade it with me? TD? And how much did you make? And are you going to send me a picture? Send me a picture. And I can use it in the webinar. Beautiful, dude. Beautiful. Very nice. Very nice, TD. Very nice. So you traded double the amount of contracts that I traded. That's awesome. Very nice trade. Fred, beautiful. Fred trusts me. I'll tell you this, folks. Fred trusts me. Fred's meeting his goals, trading with us on a regular basis. Would you say that that's fair to say, Fred? That you're meeting your trading goals? I think you're doing better than your trading goals. Fred's doing great. Jaquan is doing well. If you put the time in, practice, think outside the box sometimes. Don't just follow me blindly. Look at TD. He made double what I made. He didn't follow me blindly. I say that over and over. Don't follow me blindly. Do what you think is best for you and your account, right? We're just giving guidelines. I'm just giving guidelines, okay? Let me render the video real quick. I'll answer any questions if anybody wants to answer. Let me show you the schedule for the week. I don't see any reason not to trade the impactful reports. We're trading up until Wednesday. No Thursday trade rooms. There are no Thursday trade rooms. There's a little bit of confusion on the schedule. Let me show you why I made a mistake. And I didn't catch it. Durable goods says watch. That means there's no trade room. Okay. But I give it a trade room time of 8. I'm not going to be here. I'm telling you now. There's no trade room Thursday. Okay. I will put a notice up on the announcement section of the website so everybody knows. All right. Tuesday, I'm interested in final GDP tomorrow. I think the market's looking pretty intensely at GDP news. I think also I'm interested possibly in existing home sales. I think the market is absolutely looking at home sales. The housing market is on fire right now. Okay. And you know me, there's no way we're not trading API. API, we trade every week. All right. And then Wednesday, to close out the holiday, we'll just trade crude and natural gas. New home sales and revise University of Michigan, that might actually be a trade. Canada GDP has not been very impactful, so I'm not even going to have a trade room during the holiday. Normally, I'd have a trade room and look for a reversal trade, but it just hasn't been. It's not worth it. I don't want to waste your time. I looked at the recent reports. They really haven't been moving that great. Okay. Personal income and spending, that's something new that we're looking at. Brian kind of gave me a heads up on that. Brian's one of our long time members. So who wants to ask me a question while you got me here? You got me here. Anybody want to ask me anything? Kershit, I traded the 30-year bond. My entry was 172.21. Sorry, 19 was my entry long, and my target was 21. It hit my first target. Okay, Kershit? I traded the 30. See what I mean? The 30 moves fine. Um, I entered at 19, 172.19 automatically because the software does that. Okay, folks, YouTube, we have to shut down the streaming. Kershid, send me an email. If you've signed up for the trade room, you should be in the trade room. Okay. And if you need help figuring out where to get the software, help at 10minutetrades.com. I want to help you. Okay. So thanks, YouTube folks. Give us a like, sign up for our channel, subscribe to our channel, please. And you'll be notified all the time when we're going to be streaming. Okay. All right, folks.